What is up, boyos? This is the Loner Gamecast. I am Jake. That is Nick. What is up, Nick?
Oh, just streaming from a new location right now.
New location.
New location, new backgrounds.
Quarantining.
Akbar right here.
He's so cute, dude.
My uncle Akbar.
So today we're talking video game news. It's what we do. It's all we talk about. Even when we're not doing the show, all we talk about is gaming news. And there's not much, but there is some important stuff. A lot of drama this episode. But we tried to mix in some actual game stuff, but I feel like the drama stuff is important to talk about.
And it pretty much outweighs anything that we have to say about any of the other stuff.
Because, yeah, it's like actually important. Not to say that games aren't important, but this is like actually important. So, but let's start the show with what you've been playing.
We always start the show.
I can't think of another podcast that starts their show that way.
I don't think so.
I think we're the only one.
It's just me and you, man. This is what we do. I've been playing The Last of Us. Haven't beat it yet. Getting close. Probably just over half, I would say. I've been playing the new Pokemon DLC. It's pretty good. It's just a big ass open area, wild area, whatever it's called. That's pretty much it. So if you want to like walk around, how Zelda is, and
how's Pod Racer though?
Oh yeah, I've been playing that. It's exactly the same shit. It seems like it's the 64 version on your Switch, and that's exactly what I wanted. Well, it's the start of what I wanted. I want that ultra high definition, ultra poly.
Why don't they make a new one?
Unreal Engine sort of bullshit, but I have a feeling they will.
I hope they do.
I hope they do too, but I hope EA isn't a part of it.
It's just like the only interesting thing about the prequels are the pod racing. It's like whoa.
Them's fighting words.
Well, that one guy with the red skin has the double-bladed sword, and he's pretty cool too.
The one guy with the red skin and the horns.
Yeah, the dude with the horns, and he kills the guy from Taken.
Oh yeah.
So I've been playing
spoilers,
The Last of Us.
By the way,
I've been playing The Last of Us. No spoilers for this.
No.
That's kind of
gloss right over it.
That's kind of my main game I've been playing. We plan on doing a spoiler talk once we beat it. Who knows at this point? Hopefully this week, maybe next week. Who knows?
I mean, I might not be there, but
yeah, we'll figure something out. But I just want to get your short take on how you're feeling so far compared to last week.
I don't remember what I said last week, but this week I think it's as I play through it, I like the first one a lot more.
Yeah,
this one seems a lot more. The first one seems sort of scripted, and shit was placed in places where it made sense. Whereas this one's just like, we're gonna put enemies everywhere, and you got to deal with it.
Yeah, it's very loosey-goosey, I feel.
Yeah, and I like the gameplay that you have, the prones, the shooting from prone, the crawling, the tall grass. I like that stuff. But as soon as you get into like the level layout, it kind of loses me, because the second half I've just been sprinting through encounters because I have so much health, and that could be like, I'm playing on hard though. Like it's hard. It should be hard. I'm just sprinting to the end and going, okay, can I open this door quickly? I can. Well, there goes that encounter, and just it doesn't seem as good. as well thought out.
I've had a few experiences like that as well, where I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna have to deal with all these guys. This is gonna be a pain, but I'm kind of excited about it. And then I'm like, let me just sneak around here. And then I'm like, oh, but there's the exit right there. I could just
Mm-hmm.
leave.
I'm just gonna leave.
And then I do. Because I don't know. Yeah, I've experienced a lot of that. And
I'm,
I feel like the story is like very melodramatic. I'm only halfway through it right now, but I feel like it's very melodramatic. Um,
yeah.
I don't know. We'll get more into it in the spoiler talk, I
It,
guess.
it,
But
it seems very high school
yeah,
drama, as
hmm
is what it really is. But there's
lots
there's
of like love triangles and like
yeah, there was even a section that you had to kill every single thing in order to continue, and that just threw me off. It's like, I'm here, I'm silent, let me just pick up this thing and move on. But no, you had to kill all of the monsters in this area. It's like, what? It kind of just takes you out. So you got to backtrack and kill everything in the area, and then you go back, and it's like, oh, okay. But
yeah. I don't want to say too much more without we'll probably spoil it if we keep going. But I don't know. I feel like it's a good game. It's certainly a good game.
oh yeah.
Uh, it'd be disingenuous to say it's not, but yeah, it's not nearly as good as the first one. And like you go in with like such high expectations compared to the first one because the first one was so good. So it's hard to stay completely objective. I think the same thing sort of happened with Uncharted 3, where like everyone's like,
Mm,
it's not as good as the second one. But like if Uncharted 3 came out before Uncharted 2,
it
how
would
would
be really
people
great.
yeah, and maybe people would feel the same about this game if it came out first. But also this game cannot exist without the first one. So,
But it's also got a whole lot more game mechanics to it.
mhm.
So
that's that's my other issue is like I feel it like overstaying its welcome quite a bit
yeah.
because I feel like Naughty Dog really sits in that sweet spot of about like 12 to 15 hours and I'm already I think I'm 20 hours in right now and I know I still have quite a bit to go
Yeah.
and it's yeah I feel like it's a bit too long. I, I don't know.
I'm feeling that too. But if you haven't been playing anything else, I think we should get on to the news though. We'll talk
Let's
about this week sometime.
yeah, but so our first piece of news is I'm sure a lot of people have heard about this, but this comes from Tom Warren of The Verge. Microsoft is shutting down Mixer and partnering with Facebook Gaming. Microsoft is closing its Mixer service on July 22nd. It plans to move existing partners over to Facebook Gaming. The surprise announcement means Mixer partners and streamers will be transitioned to Facebook Gaming starting today. Microsoft will no longer operate Mixer as a service in a month's time. It's pretty wild
Um,
stuff.
yeah, I mean, we missed that news last week because
Yeah,
there was so much to talk about last week. But now it's like, now we have the time to talk about it. So I
well,
think this is a huge thing.
I think it was kind of a big piece of news last week, but it really didn't come to fruition until like later that day
Right.
when we recorded. Yeah, the biggest thing about it for me and like Microsoft shutting it down is this was where Microsoft was really showing off their technology. What's it called? The like Xbox, the X Cloud,
Yeah.
uh, the streaming service, which was basically remote play on the PlayStation, but like actually done well.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard people say they've tried it and it works really really well. So I wonder what the future of XCloud game streaming is when it comes to streaming and such.
But Mixer was just like a Twitch, wasn't it?
Right, but the whole idea of Mixer was that well, in the future, once XCloud became a thing, is like Twitch streamers could be like, "Here, you do it," or it was supposed to
Mm.
be just like
Oh, I see.
very streamlined into like, "Here, you can try it," or
Yeah,
"Here, let's add a second controller," or you know,
it was like that. It's like that PlayStation thing. The
yeah, yeah. The
the what is it called? The remote play.
I just said that.
Well, okay. Yeah, but like you can be in a party with somebody and then just pass them the controller
Right. It
virtually.
was supposed to be that, but streaming. Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder how that would actually have come to work. If it actually would have worked. Say you get like, I don't know, because Ninja was on um what is this called? Fuck, Mixer.
Yeah.
Ninja was on Mixer, right? So what if like Ninja has a huge following, right? So what if he just like, how would that work, do you think? If he was just like, hey kids, play for me
Yeah, I don't know if
on my
Ninja
stream.
I don't know if Ninja would be the guy to like really take advantage of it.
Right.
I don't know if he'd be the guy. The other guy was Shroud, which I don't really know much about Shroud, but I know he's a big streamer. Both of those guys got like tons of money to go over there, and now their contracts are just void, and they can go right back to Twitch and keep
Yeah.
that money. Like they totally made out like bandits with that
They
one.
they sure did. I don't. Yeah. Seriously. But maybe I don't know. Maybe they signed a contract where it's just like, yeah, and now you belong to Facebook now, unless Facebook says otherwise.
Well, so the story continues. Microsoft has struggled to reach the scale needed for Mixer to compete with Twitch, YouTube, and even Facebook Gaming, which has led to today's decision. We started pretty far behind in terms of where Mixer's monthly active viewers were compared to some of the bigger players out there, says Phil Spencer, Microsoft's head of gaming, in an interview with The Verge. I think the Mixer community is really going to benefit from the broad audience that Facebook has, though. Their through their properties, uh, and the abilities to reach gamers in a very seamless way through the social platform Facebook has. Um, so that's Phil Spencer talking about their relationship with Facebook.
I've Does Facebook have a streaming service?
They totally do.
I've never
Well,
heard of it.
it's just like part of Facebook. It's the Facebook Live section, and then there's a gaming section under the Facebook Live section. You know how like just on
What
your
did you
phone you can
Right.
just go live. You know, hello, God.
Hello? Oh my god.
Is that you?
The house is breaking down.
um, yeah, no, they totally do. The interesting thing, and I don't have the stats here, but like if you looked at it compared to Twitch, what's the other one? Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, right? All of their markets over the past like year have gone up like at least 40%, and I think Mixers was like 0.2% of the market
Oh,
share it went up. So
wow.
like it's really telling of like where Mixer was and all of that. It's also really telling that like maybe these Twitch streamers like Ninja and Shroud don't have the pull that we thought
Right.
they did. Um, it's almost like people just clicked them because convenient and they're there. I don't
But
know.
I think that's pretty much what it is, because when somebody goes onto Twitch or whatever, it's like popular, and then you click on it. It's like, okay, so who's the most popular streamer for CS:GO? And they click on it,
Yeah,
because it's like, this is probably good because 80,000 people watch this guy. I'm not going to
right.
click on the guy with 2 views. Wish you would, though. Wish you would.
Please do. Please
Please
do.
click on
But play Gloomhaven. Um,
the.
so the story continues. Microsoft's choice to partner with Facebook is clearly a strategic one that's also related to broadening the appeal of its upcoming xCloud game streaming service and its overall gaming efforts. Microsoft will work closely with Facebook to bring xCloud to Facebook gaming, allowing viewers to click and immediately play games that people are streaming. It's a vision that's very similar to Google's ambition with Stadia, but Mixer has lacked the scale and viewership to truly deliver this mode broadly. Microsoft recruited exclusive streamers like Ninja and Shroud with big deals, but they haven't been enough to get more people using the service over rivals. Ninja, Shroud, and other top streamers are now free to rejoin Twitch or stream on Facebook Gaming. Ninja said on Twitter, quote, "I love my community and what we built together on Mixer. I have some decisions to make and will be thinking about you all as I make them."
Ooh.
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 I don't really give a shit what Ninja does. I just think it's interesting that he really doesn't have to do anything for like the rest of his life because he got like I think it was $30 million to go stream on Mixer, and
And
now
now that
he
he
doesn't even
doesn't even
need
have
to,
to do it. Yeah.
and
He
he could
doesn't have to.
literally just chill forever. That's crazy. But
That's nuts, dude.
they kind of mentioned the xCloud stuff in here. That's the most interesting thing to me is like, so are they gonna really partner with Facebook now? And like, is Facebook gonna are they really gonna try and boost Facebook, or is this just a temporary thing and they're just gonna basically ditch it entirely? I don't know.
What it sounds like is Facebook and Xbox are going to partner up, and if you want to stream on Facebook, you're going to buy an Xbox to stream exclusively on Facebook because earlier this year or late last year, PlayStation's like, we're not doing anything with Facebook anymore. Where your accounts don't matter. So I'm thinking that Facebook's leaning more towards Microsoft rather than Sony, and they'll have something. Maybe XCloud is going to run in conjunction with Facebook.
And the Xbox Series X, like when that launches, like how on PlayStation when you press stream, you get the choice to do it on YouTube or Twitch. I remember in the beginning it was Twitch or Ustream. Those were the two, but now it's Twitch and YouTube now. But I wonder, like on the new Series X, if it's going to give you the option to stream onto Facebook directly. I'm sure that's the case.
That's what it kind of sounds like, in this thing. It really sounds like they're buddying up. Who knows?
I'm very curious to see more about the consoles, just to see like what the streaming capabilities are of these new consoles, and if it's going to be more streamlined, or if it's going to be the same bullshit that we have now. I also think it's worth saying, like, it's really sad. I'm sure like a lot of people are losing their job right now because Mixer is closing. I'm sure a lot of streamers went over to Mixer to like build a community and have started to build a community over on Mixer, and now it's just gone.
It's dead. Yeah,
dude, that sucks so hard, and I'm so sorry. But hopefully Facebook works out for you, or Twitch,
or maybe you go to Twitch.
Yeah,
and maybe the competition is not as rough as you first thought. Who knows?
It probably is though. Everyone's streaming right now, so it sucks. Like if you had just built that community and now it's just gone, like that sucks.
Yeah.
I hope people get it worked out. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about Mixer. The whole streaming thing is the only reason I think it's important is because of the xCloud stuff. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's important because a huge every time Microsoft starts something, it's like, is it really gonna, like, they used to have phones. Remember when Microsoft, you could buy Windows phones?
Oh yeah, like, and what was the
where did they go?
The MP3 player that they had, the
Zune? Yeah,
Zune.
Same. Every time they get into something like this, it's just like, oh, we did it too late, or it's not as popular, so we're just gonna cancel it.
Well, and it really shows like just how big and impressive Microsoft is as an entity. Like if Sony were to do something like that could potentially destroy them. Like, because Microsoft is such a massive company. Like everyone uses Windows.
Yeah.
Everyone uses their interfaces and stuff. Like them losing Mixer is not a big deal. Them losing Xbox isn't a big deal. Like
it will be if
I don't know, man, because
it's the only one. I mean, it will be for us, is what I mean.
Sure, but what I'm talking about on a company level, Like Xbox is just another thing,
Right.
you know. But then you think about like Sony, like PlayStation is their thing. If they had a thing like Mixer and it failed, that could cripple that entire company. You know what I
From
mean?
what I hear though, Sony is in everything else. Sony does movies, they do audio, they do, I hear, insurance in some countries. So they're
Sure.
also a big company.
They are a big
Um,
company. I'm not discrediting that, but they're also their movie company wasn't doing hot before, and it's certainly not doing hot right now. So,
right.
um, anyway, let's move on to the next piece of news. This comes from Jordan Oleman. Rocksteady reportedly working on a Suicide Squad game. Domain registrations for a game seemingly titled Gotham Knights and a potential Suicide Squad game have been found online. Reset Era user Drifting Orbit posted their findings, which include domain registrations for SuicideSquadGame.com, Suicide Squad KillTheJusticeLeague.com, and TheGothamKnightsGame.com. According to Eurogamer, the London studio has been working on the project for years, and the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League domain is potentially the game's full title, as well as a summation of its content. Eurogamer also says that the domains were registered by WB Interactive. The Gotham Knights does refer to WB Montreal's long rumored Batman Court of Owls game, and that both games will be shown in some respect at the DC fandom event.
That's good news. Finally, something on Rocksteady,
Yeah.
because they stopped doing, or I mean, they did Arkham Knight, and they're like, we're going to be working on a Superman game. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And we
They
didn't
never
hear
said
anything
that
about it.
though. They never.
Well,
That was
did
like
they?
rumored. It was like rumored that they'd work on Superman. Then it was like rumored they'd work on Justice League. But now it seems like it's Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, which sounds awesome. And I hope they make it really goofy and dumb. Like,
Goofy and dumb. You don't.
yeah. Like
You don't want.
I hope like you actually like go and murder members of the Justice League. Like I hope it's just like that dumb. And then
Yeah.
like at the end it's like Harley Quinn and it's like all in her brain and she's like going insane or something. It just sounds
That
fun.
that would be cool. I would like to be on the opposite side. I would like to be um, not the good guys in a superhero game for once.
What are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad?
But that's good news. I mean, we got 3 domains. It looks like
Yeah.
for more Batman stuff with which Rocksteady is great at doing. So
Well,
I guess I'm hopeful.
one of them, the Gotham Knights game, that
Hmm.
is WB Montreal, which are the guys who made Arkham Origins.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Never mind on that one.
but that's still cool. I'm still excited about that. Court of Owls is awesome. I just read through all of the Court of Owls recently.
I don't
So
know what that
dope.
is.
So dope. New
What is it?
52. It's a new 52 Batman, and basically it's like uh Thomas Wayne had to like fight this secret society called the Court of Owls. Then they like start reappearing. It's really awesome. It's really cool. So I'm excited to see that. I also wonder if this Suicide Squad game is connected to the Arkham games at all. Like if it's gonna be the same Harley from the Arkham games. You
That
know what I
would,
mean?
that would make sense
Mm-hmm.
because, um, you know, spoilers, Joker's dead. Um,
That's true.
so what's the next thing to do is the Suicide Squad, or
Or it could be a flashback. It could be whatever.
it could be, but I feel like the flashbacks are just kind of overdone or dumb just in general.
Well, because in those games, Batman's dead too.
Is he?
I mean, his mansion explodes. Everyone thinks he's dead.
Oh, yeah. At the end of that, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be a continuation or not.
which is why I thought they were gonna go more for the next one. It would make sense for a Batman Beyond,
Yeah,
you know, because then they find him. The detective finds his lair, and he's like, "Holy shit, this was Batman!" And then, you know,
that's
in the
kind
future
that's
or
kind of
whatever.
why I hope it's like just some goofy, like ridiculous, like Harley Quinn like slitting the neck of the Flash, like just some like goofy shit, because that just sounds like fun to me. you know,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I also wonder if this Arkham Knights is going to be connected to either Suicide Squad or the Arkham City games. I'd
Yeah.
assume so. If it's called Arkham Knights,
Arkham, if it's called Arkham, I would assume, yeah, I would
yeah,
assume
I
so.
would
But
assume. But then they also like really distanced themselves from the Arkham Origins game when they released the new trilogy. Because the new trilogy, it
oh,
was
I see
Arkham
what you're saying.
Asylum,
Yep,
Arkham
yep.
City, and Arkham Knight. They didn't even acknowledge Arkham Origins. So like,
Right. Who knows, man? I don't. We're. This is early. This is early. It could not. Might as well be not even a thing. It could just be. They could scrap it.
yeah,
I mean, it says they say they've been working on it for years, or at least WB does. Um, refers to
yeah,
some.
they've been working on the project for years, but they've had to because Arkham Knight came out 5 years ago. So I mean, they've
Oh,
had to have been doing something.
yeah, yeah, but I mean, it's not like WB to scrap an entire game, but it could happen.
Who knows? I'm excited. I want another Batman game. I want another good superhero game. That Avengers game looks like trash.
It looks fine.
It looks like a phone game.
Do we know when this fandom event is?
I don't know. You want to look into that?
I'm looking it up right now. It says August 2020. So in August, we might have some more news.
Hmm.
DC fandom digital event coming in August.
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't be surprised if the London studio for Warner Brothers, if they've been, Rocksteady. I wonder if they've been holding the game because they want it to be next gen.
that's a good point.
Because
That's a lot of what Ubisoft's been doing too. It
because
sounds.
it
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 seems
does
like.
seem like such a long dev cycle, but also games take a long time. But it seems like a long time to not even announce something. Like it almost like they're intentionally waiting.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very Ubisoft move right now.
Hmm.
Because their thing is a couple weeks from now,
Yeah,
and they haven't said anything for. I mean, the last thing they said was the Valhalla, but everybody knew that was coming anyway. It's like, oh yeah, another Assassin's Creed.
I
Still don't
want
have like release dates for anything else, but it's like, okay, we're just kind of waiting here until July.
I want Splinter Cell. That's all I want.
A co-op Splinter Cell, a double
Anything
agent,
Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell double agent. That's what I want.
Sure. Well, speaking of Ubisoft, that's a horrible transition, but
Yeah, it's well, I mean, it goes right into this piece of news.
yeah. So this is from Jason Schreier. Video game industry rocked by outpouring of sexual misconduct allegations. Um, it's not something we normally talk about on this show, but I feel like it's worth talking about. Dozens of women took to social media over the past few days to outline explosive allegations against prominent men in the world of video gaming and streaming, setting the stage for what could be the beginning of a hashtag Me Too reckoning for the $150 billion video game industry. Some of the most detailed allegations were brought against Chris Avalon, who replied on Twitter to one of the women, Carissa, saying he never meant to harm anyone, to her or friends of hers that he had dated. If I can't do anything to apologize for it, I understand, and there's nothing more to be done. Avalon, who has written for popular games such as uh, Planescape, Torment, and Fallout New Vegas, was a founder and co-owner of the video game studio Obsidian Entertainment Inc. from 2003 until 2015. Since then, he has been a freelance designer and writer for games including Prey and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. His work as a writer has been lauded by fans and critics. Um, Industry publication Game Developer Magazine listed him as one of the field's top writers in 2009. Um, there's a lot more here, um, and we'll probably jump into it more. But I just, well, here. In interviews with Bloomberg News, two women shared similar but separate stories of Avalon buying a continuous stream of drinks for them and others at an event, and then making unwanted sexual advances on the two women. One, Carissa, said it happened when she met Avalon at a convention one week in 2012. The second said it happened at an event in 2013. A third woman, who now works at a large video game company, posted on Twitter a screenshot of sexually explicit messages she said she had received from Avalon in 2013 when she was seeking to break into the industry. A fourth wrote on Twitter that Avalon had groped me repeatedly at a nightclub in 2014. Um, yeah, man, it goes on, and that's just like one of the big cases. And the only reason I'm like reading some of like the more descriptions, because I feel like we need to read some of that stuff just to like put it into context. And this is just one case, and there has been like over 70 allegations all across the gaming sphere, including games journalism. IGN is kind of under hot water for both sexism and just mistreatment of their employees, like forcing them to put drama into news articles that it's not even investigated at all. Like it's wild. I'm glad all this stuff is coming out.
Well, it sounds like this Avalon guy, at least from what you read.
He sounds like a real jerk.
He sounds like a real jerk. Sounds like he just goes to bars and he's just, I don't know, he's just a creep, you know?
Well, here's one. I feel like this one's important. On Saturday night, Jackie Collins, a public relations representative for Riot Games, shared a screenshot of sexually explicit text messages from Avalon on Twitter. This was before I was full-time in the game industry, but knew I wanted a future in it and was actively working towards that, she wrote. Chris was one of the industry greats. I was frankly flattered to even know, let alone be friendly with. So I forgave and regularly asked him career advice. And like that's the thing is,
well, it's not just in video games. I feel like this happens everywhere, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
I feel like if you have these certain people who are revered in their career, in this case video game industry, and somebody is trying to get into that industry, this guy knows a lot of people and he can pull a lot of strings, so you're gonna kind of be like, oh, more okay with shitty things that he's doing until you get to a certain point, and then it's gonna explode once you're like, in, you know, at least that's what it seems like in this certain situation where Jackie Collins, she wasn't working at Riot until after she met this guy, and then once she has a full-time job at Riot, then she's good, she's safe. Because I feel like if she were to put these allegations out before she got a job, she would never have gotten a job.
Yeah, and that shouldn't be the case.
that's a really shitty thing, you know.
It's dangerous, really. Uh, it sucks to see it happen to something that I'm so deeply connected to, like video games. And I was talking to a friend about this yesterday, and like it's just such a bummer that this medium that I love so much is just filled with some of the worst people, because you go into the comment section, and this could be true for anything, but I see it especially in video games, man. And maybe I'm speaking out of line here, but I don't care. Like you go into these comment sections and people are just like, "Well, she probably got what she deserved," or blah blah
Mm,
blah. And like that, you see that in video games, and that's been a problem with Call of Duty. They just like for a long time just let people have the N word as their name, and like never taking action against that stuff. People actively hated on, and I found myself doing the same thing. People actively hated on um, Overwatch for like policing their community. And now in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, they probably should, because that
yeah,
shit shouldn't exist in video games.
right.
It's,
Well, yeah, it just shouldn't exist. Period. You know,
yeah.
um, it's just a,
Well, and I'm not naive, because like this stuff is going to exist and there's just no way around it. But like it's just like the video game industry has almost just like, that's part of the culture. Here it is.
mhm,
Now like Neil Druckmann is getting shit because he's like, yeah, I have an agenda. My agenda is to have accurate representation of women in games. And it's like, what's the problem with that? And like gamers are just so upset about it, and
right.
it frustrates me so much that like an article like this, like Jason Schreier can post an article like this detailing all the bad shit that's happening, and gamers will be like, oh, it's nothing. And it's like,
Or she
no.
deserved it. You
Yeah,
know.
it's like,
Yeah.
well, she got the job, didn't she? And it's like, well, she did. Imagine all the people who didn't. Also,
Yeah.
imagine all the people who went to HR and nothing happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
For real. Yeah. Or just even like, just didn't go along with this guy's advances, and then we're also trying to work in the industry,
yeah, and then didn't
and
get a
he's like,
job.
yeah, don't hire this girl, she's bad, I've heard she's bad at what she does. And then it's like, all because she wouldn't let you touch her in a nightclub.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that's like, certain people with power just, it they, it's hard to explain. It's like those people shouldn't be in power, you know.
Yeah.
But
Well, I saw there was more in that Bloomberg article. I couldn't copy and paste the whole thing, but like one of them was like, I don't want to put my name out there, but yeah, this dude did stuff to me, and I was like, I'm just done, and now just works at a GameStop, like, because it's like, fuck it, dude, I'm not going to get into that industry,
right, I'm not going to
deal
put
with
up with
that.
that bullshit. And
And there's like a certain and you could see it in like games media, even like there's a certain level of professionalism that's just like missing in games media, that you
mhm,
see everywhere, even in like movies, which is, I'd say, the same level of just like nerdy bullshit. Like movie journalists don't go to big events and then like go and get drunk. They might with some friends, but that's just like par for the course with like video game stuff. There should be
right,
a certain level of like professionalism. Like listening to the old IGN stuff that I used to love just kind of makes me cringe now, because it's like, you guys are working though. Like you guys shouldn't be, I don't know.
going crazy. And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. It's a terrible thing, but I mean, at least it's getting out there. I don't know what's going to happen or anything like that. Um, if this guy's even going to get reprimanded, or you know anything.
Probably not. I know they were talking about him not being part of some game that he was working on.
Mm,
Um so he might get less work now, but I doubt he'll get in any more trouble than that.
Yeah, and I guarantee you he's still going to be a big name in the gaming industry with a lot of strings that he can pull, even though.
Well, and that's the thing is like no one knows really, if unless you're like us, no one really knows who Chris Avalon is.
Right.
You know, most people
Yeah,
just pick up the game and don't think twice about who made it.
right.
They're like, oh, it's Jedi's. I want to play that. Most people don't think about who made it unless it's like a Kojima game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, unless Kojima slaps his name in every single part that he can. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You just added this here. Two
Yeah, this
senior
kind of this
members.
kind of goes up. This kind of goes up with the with what would happen if you're a shitty person, in the game industry. But go ahead.
Two senior members of Ubisoft have been placed under administrative leave during an investigation into abuse and bullying within the publisher, a new report has revealed. Bloomberg cites anonymous sources familiar with the matter who claim Tommy Francois and Maxim Bayland, probably mispronouncing
I'm
those,
thinking it's like Maxime Beland.
sure, have both been placed on leave. Each band faces at least 3 claims of misconduct from a mix of named and anonymous accusers.
Yeah, so apparently I read a little bit into this, and apparently they're just bullies and like you know fucking with people who are working under this publisher. And I guess enough of them have gone to HR, and HR actually did something in this matter, and they've been put on leave. So it's another thing with you know being a shitty person in a workplace, unprofessional,
Yeah.
and you get, well, I don't know, placed on leave. I don't know if we don't have anything else on it, if they're gonna come back or how long the leave is, or you know, um, but who knows? You know, it's it's Ubisoft, so it's a huge company, and these guys are senior members. I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly
It's
what they do,
it's a it's
but
a it's a problem with HRs too. It's like they're there to protect the companies and not the employees, which is just insane.
right, yeah, yeah,
You
exactly.
you just feel helpless, and like especially in like a field like gaming, where it's such a like if you get a job, that may be the only gaming job you ever get. So like you don't want to lose that job, but you also don't want to deal with the harassment you're dealing with, and there
Hmm.
you just start to feel helpless, and it's messed up. And this is not the first time there's been allegations, but this is like the first time people are finally feeling comfortable enough to actually talk about it. Because I've heard stuff about Cliffy B before. I've heard stuff about the guy who made oh god, Beyond Two Souls, Detroit, that guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
um and I've heard that there's been like, and then on top of that we've got just the general just like mistreatment of employees making games, like overworking them, forcing them to pull in overtime. And that's happening at games journalists places too, games media. It's just rampant, and like something needs to change, something needs to give. Like I don't know what it is. um
Yeah, apparently, it was a wave of allegations against Ubisoft staff members, ranging from racist and homophobic comments to physical assault and threats of rape. So that's not like, oh hey, you're doing a shitty job,
yeah.
so get your ass in gear. That's like, you're gay and you're gonna be here longer because I don't like you, or
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you shit because you're, yeah, you're different. It's kind of ridiculous, the amount of shit that people give other people in the
Right.
workplace. It's
Well, and that's what came out. That's his name, David Cage, right? The
David Cage is the
Yeah, and
Beyond Two Souls guy.
that that stuff came out about him being homophobic and racist, and his excuse was, "Well, I worked with Ellen Page. How could I be homophobic?" It's like, "Oh, come on, guy." Because Ellen Page has a big name. That's why you worked with her. Come on.
Yeah.
And you just desperately want to make movies, but all you can do is video games. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's not much more I can say. Like, it just sucks, man. It just sucks that this happens all the time, and it just seemingly like no one can do anything about it. But finally, it seems like someone's doing something about it. But how many people had to go through it before something happened?
And it's just like, even if you get a couple of these guys, there's still going to be more. You know, there's
Mm-hmm.
always going to be a couple of bad apples that just get away with it, and that's. I mean, we're talking about human, just human decency at this point, but it's it's shitty. It's shitty that people have to go and work, especially in the game industry where you want to escape, and this is like a dream job. Because for me, if I worked in the game industry as, I don't know, fucking a writer, I can't write shit, but if I worked as a writer and somebody's like, "Hey, uh, I don't like you because you're weird and nobody likes you and blah blah blah," I'm gonna I'm gonna be like, "Why did I work my ass off to get this job?" And I'm being treated like shit, And
And then
it's
you'd be like, I don't like you either.
I,
All right, let's lighten it up. Let's lighten it up a little.
all right.
Uh, Cyberpunk Night City Wire. That was an event that happened.
Yeah, it was the first of many, I guess. I guess this is a reoccurring thing, that they're gonna have um, just over the course of until they release. I think it's like once a month, they said. I watched it. Um, I'm trying to stay in the dark about Cyberpunk though, because I'm kind of want to be surprised about what they're doing and what they've been doing and what it's going to be like. But I watched this one, and they did a lot of. They showed off a new trailer. They oh, that's right. They showed off a new trailer for the game. They showed off a little bit of gameplay for it, a lot of car gameplay. So
Ooh.
and they showed off like the I forget what the outskirts are called of the city, the like desolate desert. It's showed off gameplay of that. That looks really cool. It's looking like a first-person GTA almost. Um, and then they also announced a partnership with Studio Trigger, who is
Oh
an
yeah.
animation studio. And in 2022, I believe they said they're doing a anime based in Night City, which is the city that Cyberpunk is being located.
That's gonna be awesome, dude.
I'm super stoked. Studio Trigger did Gurren Lagann, Kill la Kill. Recently, I think their newest thing was Brand New Animal. Comes to Netflix tomorrow, I think.
Darling in
So
the
when this comes
Franks.
out, well, they were associated with it. Yeah. What else did they do? They did a whole bunch of their animation style is very different and very over the top, and it's really fun. Their stuff is usually really fun.
Mm-hmm.
So it's set in one
Highly
of the.
sexualized a lot of the time.
Well, yeah, a lot of the time
Which I guess makes
there's
sense for cyberpunk. There's probably a
yeah,
lot of sexiness going on.
yeah, and if it's anything like Kill la Kill or Gurren Lagann, I am totally down to watch it, and I'm super excited for it.
Just for the sexiness.
Just for the sexiness, yeah. That's the only reason I want to see,
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I feel
three
like
boob lady.
if you're going to do three boobs,
Yeah.
two cleavages, best cleavages. um, but yeah, I feel like if you're gonna make a video game, a different form of media, it needs to either be a book that could work. You could turn a video game into a book, no problem, or a show, and in particular, an animated show, because
Yeah.
it just works way better than trying to make some live action bullshit like I don't know, all of them.
Well, The Witcher.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you watch The Witcher
I
on
watched a little bit.
Netflix.
It's fine.
It's really good. The only problem is, uh, the monsters look poo poo. Like all of the like special effects look really bad, and
Yeah.
I think that's what you get from animation
Well, and
is that you can you know make shit more than life.
yeah, I
It's a
don't know
lot
if you
easier.
watched the Castlevania show,
I have not.
because the Castlevania show is fucking awesome. So I imagine it'll be sort of in that vein. But I think what people are starting to realize is like, hey, instead of making like a live action Prince of Persia movie starring Jake Gyllenhaal, how about we use that budget, kind of shorten it out a little and like lengthen it,
Yeah.
like The Last of Us is doing for HBO right now. The Last of Us doesn't work as a movie because
No.
there's just too much to do.
You're gonna
Have to have
put
it at
20. You're gonna put 20 hours into 2 hours. That just doesn't make any sense. You're
yeah.
not gonna have the character development or, the idea.
Mm-hmm.
It makes way more sense as a show because you pick up a game, you put it down, you pick it up, you put it down, um, and that's kind of what a TV show is. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can watch the whole thing. If you want to play the whole thing, you can play the whole thing. But you can also be like, okay, that's a good place to stop playing or watching. It just makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, I know a lot of people recently have been able to play Cyberpunk.
Oh
Um,
yes, they also said that. Um, they said that during the wire. They're like, everybody who had the opportunity to play can give their impressions now.
and
And
I've heard a few, and it sounds awesome. Uh, I'm trying to like avoid watching more gameplay stuff just because I want to just go in there and do it. Um, but I'm excited for this game, and I'm not even a Witcher fan. But how do you feel as a Witcher fan? I just got to ask you, how do you feel as a Witcher fan, where the game's all third person,
uh,
making a first person game?
I wasn't a fan of it a whole lot, when they first said it, but because they're like, you can create your own character, and I'm like, yes, finally, I can like
Yeah,
make myself
but you
or
can't even see it.
who I want to be. But it's like it doesn't matter because you're seeing through your eyes. But cutscenes, you'll be able to see your character and whatnot. And that's cool or whatever. Um, but the more I think on it, it makes more sense because it's a much more vertical game. It'll probably have much tighter corridors. So from a game developing point of view, it's easier to do it in first person. You can get a lot more details in certain locations in first person, and the camera's not going to be all wonky and in your. It's not going to be a shitty camera. It's
Mm-hmm.
you're there. You are the character, and that's that's what I'm kind of coming around to. Is like it's going to be pretty good. Um, and I trust CD Projekt Red. If it's not good when it releases, it'll be great a year from then. Because when The Witcher 3 came out, it was buggy. It didn't really run a lot of the what is it called? The life, uh the a lot of the quality of life in that game just sucked at the beginning. But as the year went on, they would just drop patches and give you free DLC because they're like, hey, we know this game kind of blows. It's kind of wonky right now, but we're fixing it. And you can have everything our teams are working at. You can have all this DLC bullshit, these quests that the quest designers have come up with while we're fixing these bugs for free.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was really cool. So if it's not like phenomenal at release, it'll be great later on in the line. I feel
I
like,
bet
which
it'll
is
be.
why
I bet it'll be
I,
done and good
I
at
feel
release.
like they pushed it back enough times so that they can avoid most of this like Witcher 3 kind of bullshit. But there's still going to be bugs. It's a huge open world game. There's always bugs in open world games.
Yeah,
But
and you know what? I would have when I saw that it was a first-person game, it made me think about how when Fallout 4 came out and everyone's like, it's good, but like The Witcher just came out and it's like better. It's like way better. And I feel like CD Projekt Red was like, "Oh, you think we're better than Fallout? We really are because
oh,
we're
really?
also a first person game." That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm sure that's not true, but I just thought that was funny.
That is kind of funny. But
Um,
I like playing Fallout in third person, until exactly what I'm saying, until you get into these tight corridors where the camera gets all fucked up and crazy,
yeah.
and you're like, your camera itself is glitching into a wall, and you're like, I don't know what's going on, so you go back to first person. I know that's not like the most popular way to play Fallout, but that's how I play Fallout,
I've
especially
never
in those
played
open.
Fallout in third person.
I
That's
like it in those open areas where you're just walking forever. I like doing that. I don't know. I like looking at my character.
yeah, staring at that ass.
It's staring at that ass.
Before we go, there's kind of one big game that's coming out before
Before we
we
get together next.
get together next, I believe. I think it's just Iron Man VR is like the big game coming out. Um,
Do you care?
I don't give a shit.
I don't. I don't care either. It's
I just feel like it's worth spotlighting. I don't know why. It's big game, I guess. Comes out on Friday, Independence Day. I don't know. Iron Man, Tony Stark.
remember when
Shoot,
they
shoot,
announced
pew,
that?
pew.
Remember when they announced that and we're like, oh shit,
It's like,
this is
oh,
gonna be wicked, and then it's like Iron Man VR, and you're like,
uh, and we were
ah.
hyped for that Avengers game, which now even we see gameplay for that. We're like, I
Yeah.
don't
I mean
know.
that. I feel like that Avengers game, if it is a games as a service game, it'll get good eventually. It'll have characters, and as long as there's like multiplayer or co-op, I think it'd be fun to just jam out with your friends. But
I don't know. I'm worried about it.
I'm not. I don't think the story is going to be good. I don't think the characters are going to be good. I don't think the game is going to be good. It's going to be just a thing where you beat up robots. That's it.
Here we go. Which superhero deserves their own VR game next? Uh, I don't know.
Which superhero deserves their own? It'd be a really cool superhero. Nightcrawler.
Ooh, that would be cool. You'd throw
That
him
would
everywhere.
You would throw up so hard. You
Oh
would
God.
throw up so hard. But Nightcrawler, that's what I would say.
I was thinking Thor would probably be good. Get your
Yeah,
hammer and you could shock shit.
yeah.
Or even like
But that's
Spider
that's pretty much
Spider
that's
Man would
pretty
be
much
kind of
Iron
cool.
Man.
It's like just like a swinging
Swimming,
simulator, like in
a swimming.
VR. That'd be kind of cool, I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean they did release that like little test thing on the PlayStation VR where you play as Spider-Man in a really shitty city, and it was like
I don't remember
super
that.
alpha. It was just a dumb little thing, and it worked, and people played it, and they're like, "Yeah, it's cool." But
I don't remember
yeah,
that at all.
I'm sticking with Nightcrawler, man.
This
I think
phone.
that would be a really dope VR game if you had VR. Just
Yeah.
flashing. It would go with the theme of
I
dimension shifting.
One more question before we go. What is the future of VR?
Leave it in the comments down below.
That's perfect. I'm happy with that. We'll
Yeah.
answer it next week because we have the answers.
Yeah, we absolutely do, and we'll use your comments and match them up and see if
Yeah.
see
We'll
if
see
you were
if you're
correct.
right. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
see if
because
you're
we're
right.
right. We're right, but we don't know if you're right.
Yeah.
So
So leave a comment down below. We'll let you know.
yeah,
Uh,
like, subscribe, check out the Cast, everything else.
all the
I'll
other
let you do that
bullshit.
shit. All that other bullshit.
Check out all the other bullshit. Watch me on Twitch. We're playing Gloomhaven. It's good times.
We are.
Uh, yeah. Bye bye.